Call the fire department for me. This was my Nissan 240sx with a Corvette LS1 Swap drift car. I absolutely love this car. More than 10 years ago, I bought a car that is officially the longest I've ever owned a car. It's also the worst purchase I've ever made, probably in the history of me buying cars. It is also the car that I love the most and hate the most of all the cars I've ever bought. Love it. Brings me the most joy, also brings me the most pain, literally, with bloody knuckles and mental strife, grief, whatever. Today's video, I'm gonna go through this car, tell you this entire story because my children grew up with this vehicle. I know you guys have been through the same thing. You get attached to vehicles too. My name is Craig from Flying Wheels. I should have never bought this car 12 years ago. Let's get going. We've all done it. We've bought with our hearts. If you follow along in my videos, you know that I've bought with my heart lots of times. Well, 12 years ago, when my oldest son, Logan, was little, I got into drifting. I'm a drift car racer, whatever you call it. I used to drift cars. Water balloon with paint all over it. Show me where you're gonna throw it. 3, go. Nice.
Oh, that's a trick. Okay, ready, Keith? Look at
I started with a Mustang GT. I bought it, I built it, I put a hydraulic handbrake in it, I locked a differential. It was great. It was fun, but it didn't really do the deed. And the amount of money I had into that car, I could have just bought a drift car that does what it's supposed to do and build it from there. So I did. I went on eBay and I found this right here, a 1996 Nissan 240sx from Tampa, Florida. I paid $10,000 for it. It had an SR20 DET 4-cylinder turbo out of a Nissan Silvia. Really great car, all set up to drift. Had the roll cage, didn't work out so well for me. Here's the car right here. So I found this car on eBay. I asked lots of questions. I got walk around videos. I got driving videos. It was really, really thorough. I thought I knew what I was getting. I was gonna buy it and go on the track and have some fun.
Hey Craig, all right, I'm about to start the car up now and do a full walk around. There's oil pressure. Obviously it's not warmed up yet. There is the burner right now. So I'm gonna do a full walk around. The rear brakes, battery in the trunk. Trunk is gutted. I just want to get a close-up of the wheels to show you the 300cx brakes. There's the driver's side. There's the engine running.
So after this walk-around video, I said, yeah, I'll take it. I bought it. And I had it shipped up to New Hampshire from where I am right now, Tampa, Florida. Day one, so proud. It shows up. I get in the car. I drive to my brother's. You might know Adam altogether. He does old Nissans. Timing chain breaks. Snaps in his driveway. Catastrophic damage. Now, the SR20 DET engine can only be bought out of Japan and imported. These things are insanely expensive. So because they are so expensive, I said, you know what, I'm not doing the engine, I'm doing the internal work myself. Did it, did the timing chain, did the pulleys, did the, everything. I did it all. I learned it all in my garage. I did it all by myself. Great. Then, shortly after that, 2 more drives later, I got a rod knock. Why? Because the oil pan almost touches the bottom of the engine, doesn't get enough oil pressure. If you rev these things high, they blow the engine. So right after I did the timing chain, engine gone, get a rod knock. I said, forget it. Maybe it's my own fault. I'm getting another one. I go to Engine Depot, JDM Engine Depot, whatever. I buy one. These engines are really, really expensive. I did a full engine swap, learned how to do a full engine swap myself on this car. I did the full engine swap myself, learned how to swap an engine out. I get it, I change all the fluids, I turn it on, the engine is knocking. Why? Because these engines, when they get pulled out, they get dragged across floors and the oil pan gets pressed up against the bottom. So I already said that there's not enough space. It gets pressed up against the bottom, you get low oil pressure, you get a rod knock. They warranty the engine. So I get another engine. I get it out, I get it in, I ship them back the other engine. Turbos are bad. Like, it's just one headache after another. So I then say, forget it. I loved my Mustang. It was reliable. It would overheat and it would still run. I could drive it home after a race day. So I bought a Trans Am off of Copart. LS1 T56 Manual Transmission. The car that I love the most and hate the most was the worst purchase I've ever met, and it's also the car that started this entire channel. I owe everything to this vehicle. It all started with how-to videos, how to change an engine, how to change a turbo, how to put an LS swap in a Nissan, how to change out brake systems and put 300ZX brakes in a car. It's just like all of it. I learned a lot, and I vlogged it and documented on YouTube so other people could learn how I did it, and I did a lot of research and I wanted to make it easier for other people. That is how my YouTube channel started, was because of this car. Hate it. Still own it to this day. Longest I've ever owned a car.
I looked over once and I thought that was your grandmother. Whoa. Man, this thing is something else.
That's better.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sounds great, still cranking. Now I remember why I stopped working on this stupid car. Because this is how I have to do everything. Upside down, now I'm pretty sure I'm stuck. Speed, go. Running rough for over a year, and I kind of lost faith in the engine. I thought maybe I put it in wrong, or it had a misfire. It had a misfire, and we checked all the coils and the plugs, and they all had spark, and the compression seems okay, so I couldn't figure out what's going on. So we scanned it, checked it out, comes up mass airflow sensor. Here's the new mass airflow sensor. Look at the old one. All stripped down. Dave's here. We're gonna go for a ride in the 240 because it's not quite running right. But this guy helped me build my Talon TSI. He's pretty knowledgeable. So video coming soon. I'm gonna go for a ride in the 240sx and figure out what the heck's going on. So when I plug in the new mass airflow sensor, it runs rough. Oh man, I love this car so much. I actually love and hate this car so much. It's been so much work for me for the past 5+ years that I've owned it. But when it runs right, it's awesome. Mass airflow sensor trying to learn itself, or if there's something wrong. Sometimes these things have to be tuned or calibrated, but it didn't say it needed to be calibrated, so instead I'm just getting gas and I'm not getting gas, and I'm getting gas and I'm not getting gas. It's like a free carnival ride. You have a fire extinguisher? Call the fire department for me. I'm like right at the street from my shop right now. So I have to get fired. I have to get a fire extinguisher. I need a fire extinguisher. Somebody have a fire extinguisher. Did so much damage. So here we go. Aftermath of the fire. The whole wiring harness burned to a crisp. Everything's melted. Underneath the dash too. Frick. I have replaced this windshield more times than I can even count, and the heat burned my windshield again. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this thing. I was $20,000 into this car before it crashed. All right, go ahead. Oh my goodness, this is awful. This is so sad. I'm 5 years into this car. Easily 20 grand. I thought we were finished and we're on fire. And ironically, I took my fire extinguishers out to paint my roll bar the other day. Oh wait, there it is. There's my fire extinguisher. But in such a panic, I didn't even think of getting my fire extinguisher that should be in my race car. I thought of, I don't even know what happened. We first saw some smoke coming out from right there. So I didn't want to pull into somebody's parking lot and have my car blow up in somebody's parking lot. So I tried to, I shut it off, tried to roll it to my shop. We were on a roll. Then this happened.
I'm glad we just got it back. Nothing else snapped them up.
A lot could have been worse. It could have blown up.
That was my concern. It was like a fuel leak.
All right, so I'm gonna show you what happened now that it's all over. Unfortunately, I didn't catch the fire on camera. So what we did was we drove up the street from my shop, didn't go fast. We got to the street light right here, and my buddy Dave noticed some smoke coming out of the hood right there. And all of a sudden that smoke turned to flames really, really quickly. So I did a U-turn right here at this intersection, try to make it back to my shop and hopefully I could put the fire out before it caused too much damage. And the flames started bellowing out of the top of the car. So I shut the car off and I just rolled to a stop right here. All right, so you can see right here, that's just from the fire extinguisher. No damage anywhere, which is nice. See my tire mark right there. Luckily, these guys right here helped me out with the fire extinguisher. Thanks to them, they bailed me out and saved that car, because without them, that thing would have been up in flames and engulfed the car to a crisp. So fortunately, the car isn't completely incinerated. We saved what we could, and I don't know what kind of damage there is, so let's go check it out now. We had to tow it back with a chain and an expedition. You can see how far it is. I'm already at my shop, so that's how close we were to my shop. I'm here now. All right, the car is washed down. Oh my God, look at everything melted. Wiper motor melted. Oh, the harness is gone. Where did it come from? Let's look at the inside. Oh man. So, I don't know what else to do besides just... We got a hole there. And I'm gonna put a hole right here. Look at this. All of this is melted. Windshield is cracked. This is probably my 4th windshield that I'm on already. And I've used the car a total of 2 track days. You can see the fiberglass is all bubbled. Oh man, the fuse box wasn't burned up. My fuel rail cover melted. Wiring harness, toast. That was an expensive wiring harness. Is this a fuel line right here? Yeah, that's a fuel line. This is all melted. Look at the underneath the hood. So what happened, we actually put the fire out, but there was still a fire in here. So the fire restarted after we ran out of the fire extinguisher and lit up the hood again. So the hood was upside down on my windshield, on fire, and smoke was just pouring out of right here under my hood. So I think I've come to the conclusion of what's happened. I think I figured it out. So the car was running rough. We did a new mass airflow sensor in it. It was running rough with the new mass airflow sensor. It was running rough with the old mass airflow sensor. It ran okay with the mass airflow sensor unplugged, but felt like it had a misfire. So what I'm thinking, when this thing was tuned originally, we had them delete the second oxygen sensor. So I'm wondering if it was putting too much fuel, not enough air. Obviously the air fuel ratio was off, so it was just pumping gas, and maybe pushed the fuel line off or something, because this looks like the fuel line. So all I could think is maybe the fuel started to leak onto the manifold, onto the exhaust, and just lit up. And it went up fast. It went up really fast. I wish I caught it on camera, because surprisingly I was more calm than I should have been. And Dave, if you're watching this, was an absolute madman. He was losing his mind. Thought the car was going to explode. I didn't really quite think the car was going to explode. The fuel tank's in the rear, so I didn't think we had enough. I thought we had plenty of time before the fire got to the tank. But this is what happened. So now I have a freaking another project car. If you guys have ideas of what I should have done, what went wrong, I would love to hear them. Tell me what I did wrong, because I want to know what I did so I don't do it again and have this problem again. And this car is going to be the death of me. I am so deep into this. I could have bought a Z06 and made that my race car for a fraction of the price that I'm into this car for. But I can't sell it because I own it for too much. I have to keep fixing it, which is my problem. It's like having a hole in a boat, and the boat keeps flooding, and then I have a bucket to empty it out, and then the water keeps coming in the boat, and I can't catch up. That's what this car is. I keep putting money into it, and then something else breaks. It's the gambler's mentality. I'm this deep into it, I have to keep going. I should probably just dump this thing. Hey, before I go, check this out. This is why I like my job. Positive note. I'm gonna end it on a positive note. Here's my CTSV, almost done. Camaro 2SS just showed up. Nav, leather, 6.2 liter V8. I have my Audi S5 4.2 liter V8. Grand Sport going to Colorado. We only had that a day. That's being shipped to Colorado. And then, you know, sub 9.3 convertible. Nice little sunny day car. But like I said, this video is a two-parter. You just watched it catch on fire 4 years ago. Part 2 is our next video. If you follow along and subscribe down below and hit the like button, you'll get notifications for the next video, which is going to air next. We're going to get this thing running again. I'm going to pull it out of the grave. I'm going to pull it out of my trailer. It's been sitting there for 4 years. We're going to get this thing going and figure out what we're going to do with it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Adios.